Hey everybody, welcome to Tuesday Notary Titans. My name is Jen Neitzel. I am the creator of Marketing for Notaries, and I am here with Laura Bewer herself. The GOAT is in the house. Hey Laura,
Hello.
how are you
Yeah,
today?
it is a super fine day.
Absolutely is. And of course, we are joined today by Jennifer Cooper with JKC Mobile Notary out in Fresno. And
Hey,
I
everybody.
was looking to see, Matt must have an appointment this afternoon. He
Oh,
is
yeah, he did say he had appointments.
okay. All right. All right, guys. We are going to get started the way we always do with some announcements. But first, I just want to take a moment and welcome any new people joining our call today. Any new notaries on the call, welcome. We are thrilled that you are here and you have joined us and invite you to come back every single week. I do want to remind you guys there is no TNT next week. Laura, Jen, Matt, and I are going to be in Vegas at the NNA conference. Whoop, whoop. And we cannot wait to see all of you guys. If you're going to be there, drop us a one in the chat so we can see who's going to be there. And let me tell you guys something. On Sunday, immediately after the networking mixer, that's June 8th, right? Yes, Sunday, June 8th, immediately after the networking mixer at 6:30 p.m. local time. Bill Soroka, Laura Bewer, and myself, and Jen Cooper, and Matt Miller, we are going to be in the drop bar in the casino from 6:30 until 8 p.m. local time. Please come by and introduce yourselves. Laura, I know I can speak for both you and I when I say we love nothing more than meeting people we've never met before
Yeah.
that are regular attendees of the TNT call. So if you're going to be there, let me see, I haven't even looked at chat. Do we have a bunch of ones of people going? Look at that. That's so cool. Mark your calendars to come by the drop bar Sunday night at 6:30. All right, let's get back to more announcements. Um, you guys know how this call works. It's like an old-fashioned radio call-in show. If you have questions that you want to ask any of the experts on our panel, all you got to do is raise your virtual hand, which you will find at the bottom of your Zoom screen, to get in line and have your questions answered. We prioritize those raised hands and answer those questions first. For all the other rules about etiquette and announcements and speaker information and all that, you can just look in the chat. We're going to post everything there. We want to save our time to get to all your juicy questions. So if you've got one, now's the time to get in line. So raise that virtual hand while we're going through these announcements, and we will get to your question in just a few minutes. Again, no TNT next week because we are at conference. And then right when we get home, Laura, you and I have a webinar that we're giving.
Yes, we do.
We do. It is the Next Big Boom webinar. It's happening on Wednesday, June 13th at 12 p.m. Pacific time. The registration link is in the chat. This is for anybody that is interested in becoming a certified notary trust delivery agent. That's one of our little side projects, right, Laura?
Yeah, it's a big side
It's
project.
a big side project. It's an amazing side project, let's be honest.
Yes.
All right. Also this week, June 5th, Matt is hosting the California League of Independent Notaries Roundtable. It's at 5 p.m. Pacific. The link is in the chat if you are not already registered for that. And let me just say, as I do every time he has one of these, you do not have to be a California notary to attend to this. This is for notaries nationwide. And you guys, Vegas is right around the corner, the NNA conference. It starts June 8th, it ends the 10th. I'm so excited for this year because Marketing for Notaries, we are going to have a booth this year. It's going to be really fun and exciting. And wait till you see all the prizes we're giving away. So, so cool. There are no online tickets available, but you can get your tickets at the door if you're in Vegas and you want to come and hang out with us at the NNA conference. All right. Oh, I have one more announcement I want to make. I will probably make this a little later in the call too, but I wanted to tell you guys if you have ever thought about joining Marketing for Notaries and our school community. And as you know, Marketing for Notaries is the only place you can access my 5-point marketing system. And this is the marketing framework that can help you grow your business and build that know, like, and trust factor in your community. During conference, June 8th through 10th, I will be offering that program for $124 a year. It's normally $199 a year or $25 a month. So if you've ever thought about joining and you want to save some money, um, $75 off your membership, your annual membership, uh, write down to join between the 8th and the 10th. I wanted to tell you guys that this week since we won't be on the call next week. All right, and Jen, I got that in the chat. It's in the chat for you guys.
Thank you.
Let's get to our questions. Am I missing anything, Laura and Jen?
No, I think that's enough for now.
Gosh, that was a
That
lot.
was a
I know.
lot.
Get to these questions. That's the fun
Woo.
part. My friend Carol in Southwest Florida has her hand up. Hello, my friend. What is your
Hi, how
question
you
for?
doing? I
I
have,
am so pumped about conference. I can
I
hardly
am too.
save myself.
Well, I hope. You saw my post. You sent your ear infection here over to Florida.
Oh,
Big hasn't. So hopefully we can get on a plane Friday, but we'll see. Because I was sick once, flew from Spokane, Washington, back to Jacksonville, and I had full blown ear infection. I had bronchitis. I ended up with walking pneumonia after that, and I had to go up and down on that plane 3 times. So that's why I'm also praying for you, because I know how painful that is to
it
do.
has been a
It's
rough,
awful.
it's been a rough
So say
2 weeks.
some prayers, folks, for
Yeah,
me.
I will.
And
It's,
so
it's,
here's my
go ahead.
question.
Go ahead.
Um, well, one, I know we don't necessarily do wins here, but I did my very first online remote online notarization last Friday. I was so
Yay.
excitable.
Yay.
Miss Celicia, I don't know if Celicia's on the call, was my witness. So she was able to look through all the documents. I missed one date that she had mentioned. But I had a couple of things from that. Um, and one of the comments that somebody made, because I know we do a lot of teaching here, when we got done, the gentleman that we were doing it was a seller package, and he goes, you did a really great job. And he goes, do you know that you're like the only notary that I've done other notarizations, and nobody ever explained any of the documents to me. Nobody, all they did was say, sign, 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 and
Mhm.
put your name here. And he goes, I am so grateful to you for you just telling me what each document was and what was in there.
And you know what you
And
learned, Carol?
I wanted to just bring that up because I know we've got a lot of potentially on this call new notaries. I'm still relatively new. I've only been at this for a couple of years. And I was like shocked that he said that to me.
Uh,
And so I just wanted to bring it up that and he goes, I really appreciate you doing that, because we assume that these people know what these documents are, and we work with them every day. And all I did was introduce each document, went through each of the major items and just said, this is what it is. Please review, and then you can sign. I mean, the same way as if I was on a wet signature.
yeah.
But it sounds like, and I don't know if anybody else has had this experience with remote. I know we have other remote notaries on here, but I just wanted to point out that I think, that's our job.
Yeah.
And our job is to give that little bit of explanation. We don't have to go through every line, but I hope that that's on everybody's mind to do that.
You know what you just earned yourself, Carol?
What?
A lifetime customer in him.
Yes.
Because you did your job the right way and you provided good customer service. You explained the documents to him. Wouldn't you agree, Laura, that those are the things that we can do to help us earn repeat business?
I do, and I just want to comment on that because I think notaries get confused about what we do. And our job isn't to explain their entire document or the consequences of the document, but it is our job to present, identify, um, introduce, those would be the words I would use, about the document so that they have an idea of what it is they're signing. And so I'm always careful to stay away from the word explain. I know what I mean.
That's a good way
I
to
know
say
what I
it, to
mean, but
introduce,
others don't.
yeah, to introduce the document.
That's a
And
really
because he was looking for the payout amount, and sometimes they can get confusing on those documents. And he goes, now I believe the payout's supposed to be X. And I said, well, here's, because the very first document they had in there was the closing document, and then they had the Alta statement. And so they were in that order. And so I went through and I showed him where it indicated that. And he goes, okay, that's where that's at. But I was just something that stuck with me when we finished, and I just thought, wow, doesn't everybody
No, not
do that?
everybody does it, Carol.
And
Not
it's
everybody does it.
and that's why I think it's important in these calls. That's one of the reasons that I love these calls, because you all are helping, and for those of us that have been out there and something that we see and experience, we're trying helping each other to make sure that we're doing the job the best that we can so that we can get repeat customers.
Absolutely. That's what makes this call so
Yeah,
important. Thank you for sharing that and
you're
reminding
welcome.
all of us that part of our job, right, is good customer service. And let me just say too, Matt Miller's here. Hey, Matt, how are you today?
The mute,
He's
he's
on
all the
mute.
way in the back.
I know. I'm used to
I
seeing
see
him.
his,
Now do you hear me?
I hear
yeah,
you
now we
now.
gotcha.
Hello, everyone. I'm coming to you from the road to see me.
That's okay. We're just glad you're here and that you made it. Um, all right. Boo in California has a question for us. Hi, Boo. What can we do for you today?
Yeah, I had to call you guys. Thank you for being on the call every Tuesday. It's very much appreciated that you give us this time. I had a question about a trust document that I had. I had a First Amendment trust document. And the very first page of the paperwork that the client gave me said first trust document for this trust, and then it had the attorney's name on it. And then after that were 3 pages of the document. So when you fill out your notarial certificate, if you have one for the NNA, you can identify or you can list the number of pages within that document. Do you count that page that was attached to the trust that has the name of the attorney and introduces the trust? Or do you just start with the actual count from the first page that is the start of the trust?
So great question. And it's a great question because there's no law to tell you what to do on this, right? There's no black and white. You always do it this way. I would tell you that when I think about it, if they have attached a cover sheet that's part of that document, it's page 1. And then I count through. So if I have 3 pages plus the 1, I have 4 pages. And if I had to add a certificate, then it would become plus a certificate. Whatever you decide to do, just be consistent. So if you're ever asked later, how did you count this? You'd be able to say, my practice is I include, or my practice is I don't include a title page. The other way I look at it is if the pages are numbered and they started with page 1 after that, then that's telling me they're only counting 1, 2, 3. So I look for page numbers. If there aren't any and it's attached, then I count all of them.
Okay, I did count the cover page, and yes, the next few pages were numbered, but I did put that in the certificate. 4 pages, first page, cover page, plus 1 notarial certificate, because I did have to attach. So I kind of covered all the bases, but I don't want to have to put too much information, because I know too much information can get us in trouble in that optional box.
Well, not that kind of information. First
Okay.
of all, it's optional, so you don't need to put anything. But if you're going to use it, then be clear. So I count pages of documents, but when I add a loose certificate, I say plus a certificate. So that there's no doubt about how many pages. When I said there were 6 pages, those are document pages plus a cert. So they know, oh, there's 6 pages plus a separate notary certificate. And same thing with the title, if you want to put plus cover, right? Maybe you didn't attach a certificate, but there was plus a cover sheet. It was numbered 1, 2, 3 plus cover. So 3 pages plus cover. What the purpose of that optional section is just to provide extra clarity and safeguards. So I wouldn't be afraid of it.
Okay, well, I actually did all three things that you just mentioned, just because. And I think I did it because it was also, it had to do with the trust, where probably for, you know,
Yeah.
it just always seems a little bit more serious when we're talking about a trust and power of attorney and all that other stuff. So I just went ahead and included everything. But
Okay.
good, I'll be consistent then. Then I will always include just the 1 to 3 pages plus the notarial certificate. And then it's consistent all the way across the board.
There you go.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Boo, for that question. All right. Anita in Florida, how are you doing today?
Muted.
Looks like she's fiddling with it. I don't know why they make it so hard to find the unmute button when you're on your phone like that.
Sorry, it went on mute.
Oh no, it's they make it so difficult to find the mute button when you're on your mobile. Anyway, Anita, what can we answer for you today?
Hi, thank you. Um, well, I finally, after several weeks of going out there, I finally went public today. Did my Google page, I did my LinkedIn. However, I haven't chosen my Ron platform yet. So I
Okay.
was wondering if you had any suggestions. And Carol is from Florida, the same way I am. And I was wondering if she'd mind if we would chat someday so I can pick her brain.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
she's a great person to
Absolutely. You can pick my brain the heck out of my brain.
Thank you.
You
I
guys
would be
can
happy to, because I went through, I can tell you what I'm using now, and I went through a couple of different ones, and I'm much happier with the one I'm with now. So
I'd appreciate that.
I will give you, I'll in the chat here, I'll give you my contact info.
Thank you.
I was going to say exchange contact info in the chat there. And then, did you have a question for us? What was the question?
Oh, well, that of the wrong platform.
The Ron
And then
platforms.
also the CRM, which suggestion do you have on that? Currently, I kind of have HubSpot, but I'm not sure if that's.
HubSpot's really clunky with the free version. Are you finding that to be true?
A little bit. That's why I kind of opened the question.
So let me start with the Ron platform. And Laura, I think I speak for you on this too. We don't do Ron. She can't do Ron. She's in California. I don't do Ron here in Texas. We can, but I don't do it here in Texas. So we are not the people to ask. So let's tap into all of your brains. Anybody on the call that is satisfied with their Ron platform and would like to recommend it to Anita, can you please put that information in the chat for her? And then I know you're going to connect with Carol outside the call as well, so that you guys can talk about that. When it comes to a CRM, it's really, do you have a budget for a CRM?
Um, I'm kind of open at the moment.
Okay, so I'm assuming your goal is to get away with a CRM for as little as possible, right?
That is correct.
Okay. So really, and I know nobody ever likes this answer, but what you really need to do is Google free CRMs or low cost CRMs, customer relationship manager. That's what we're talking about, CRM. And you need to get in and mess around with them and see what features they have, what what they offer, what they don't offer. I can tell you what I use, which is the CRM through the Wix platform, because Wix built my website. Laura, I think you use your phone, right, as your CRM, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, she uses her phone as her CRM. One that I'm really kind of digging the contact list is Hi Hello. They have a free digital business card, and I know they have some upgrades to use them for CRM, but they're real easy to use. It's an app, Hi Hello, and anything you get, you guys, that's free, their free version, it's always going to be a little clunkier and have less speed and grace to
Right.
it, really, than the paid version. The best thing you can do is get in there and start messing around with them. Watch the videos about how they work that they put on their website and see what appeals to you, because it's your budget. And if you need some high functionality, you're going to have to pay for it.
All right.
Yeah. And that includes usually sending out like broadcast emails and things like that. Okay. I know that
Mm.
isn't a definitive answer, but it's the true answer. So
No, it's realistic. I
yeah.
thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah. And I wanted to let you know too, Anita, I know you're part of my Marketing for Notaries school community, and I'm looking into some different CRMs to be able to recommend to people. I've got some stuff cooking in the background, so keep an eye out for that, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You got it. Uh, Laura, do you have anything on CRMs that I just wanted to see if maybe you wanted to.
But my email system is through my Kajabi. That's how I send that. And then I keep notes on my phone.
Yep.
I'm a little loosey-goosey on that.
Well, I mean, whatever works, right? Like some people need structure and a little spot for everything, and some people can be more loosey-goosey on their. I used to never want to put anything on my phone. Now I put everything on my phone. So, whatever works for you. Okay, Rochelle in Washington. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Okay. I've been better.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. I heard from the Marysville Police Department about my accident from December,
Oh, yeah.
and I finally got my ticket in the mail. It's not pretty.
Oh, Lord. 6 months later. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, we don't want to. I can save that for
Yeah.
Vegas.
What's your question?
My question is, I found that letter from Old Republic because I had an out-of-state Old Republic signing again. And remember how we were talking about the Patriot Act form and they didn't what to sign? We were doing signing agent,
Uh-huh.
and they wanted me to write notary.
Notary Public. Yep.
It wasn't notary public; it was just notary. But I saw that um, I had to wait for the docs to come in from a guy from Texas because the wife is up here. And so I signed her, and the notary down there signed it, signing agent as well. And so that's how I'm still doing it. I'm not doing what they want, but I got paid. So, but it was notary, not notary public.
Doesn't matter. Same thing.
Yeah, I didn't do it.
Public.
Good.
Not
And you
good.
shouldn't. You
Yeah,
should.
I didn't.
You're not notarizing anything. That's not the title you're working with.
That's what I thought. So I'm like, nope, I'm sticking to it. The other guy didn't do it in Texas. So I'm like, I'm not doing it. So I wanted to bring that up that I didn't
Well,
do
let's
it.
just let's just pause for a second. Whether or not the notary in Texas or any other state does it or
Right.
doesn't do it on a split signing, from attending this call, and you can't sign in capacity as a notary on a form that doesn't have a certificate. And it's definitely you have a leg to stand on, so to speak, I guess, if they were to reach out to you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway,
So,
but did you have a separate question about it, or did you just want to
no, just that I found it again. I came
Yeah.
across it.
You're going to keep
And
seeing that anytime you get
Yeah.
jobs from them, because they have other things to do than worry about notarial law, right, Laura? Like they're not sitting around their big giant like conference table, like, how can we make our notarial language better on all our closing documents? They don't care. They just want to get stuff signed and funded, right? That's their goal. So it's part of our job, right, is to make sure we're doing these things right. And if it comes back, I mean, I feel like how to address it if it were to come back on, right? Yeah. So and that's the best you can do with that. You're
Yeah.
doing the right thing.
Yep. And I just had a escrow officer, someone that I had worked with in the past, asked me if I was back signing 100%. And I said yes. And she's from First American. And she's like, well, you're our go-to then.
Yay,
Instead of throwing it out on Jot,
congratulations.
we're going to text you first. So that made me happy.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Rochelle. And I will
Thank
see you in a couple of days.
Yes, I know. I'll be there on Saturday. So I can't
Same.
wait.
Same. Laura
Yep.
and I come in Saturday morning too.
Yeah, I come in there around, well, I was just looking at my flight stuff. I just put it away around 12ish or something like that. So
Awesome. Awesome.
yeah.
Well, we will
Oh,
see you on Saturday.
yeah. I got your number in my phone and I'll be texting you up.
Awesome. Well, I'll
Yep.
be there. I will be there.
Awesome.
Carol, do you have something else for us?
Yeah, I thought I would you guys were talking about the CRM
Uh-huh.
and for Anita a little bit. I think there's one it's interesting in our I was in another one of our group meetings yesterday and we were talking about this exact thing. And I think the question is you have to ask yourself also, what are you using your CRM for?
Yeah.
And are you doing email marketing?
Mhm.
Because, and is that what you're looking for more to do your email marketing? Maybe do some of your social marketing posting where you can automate things, because that will also help you. I CRM systems, and this is one of the things we talked about, are really a sales tool for purposes of prospecting and putting a list of your prospects and all that kind of stuff in there. But I use the constant contact from NNA because we get the discount. And I believe that I really am kind of doing the same thing because I can list the contact in there, okay, all their information, and then I can email directly to them. They can get my emails for my newsletter, any kind of blog updates or anything like that. So Anita, when we're talking about with that, I get with the Ron platforms, we can talk about that and I can show you what I do and what I use. But because CRM systems, you can get into things as high like Salesforce, and those are really expensive. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
tried to keep a separate list. And then I was trying to do constant contact because I have all my contacts for the most part in my phone as well. And I found it to be difficult to keep up. But with constant contact, I'm able to do that and then do all my email marketing and everything. The downside of constant contact, you have to have an email address.
Mhm.
So if you
Well,
don't have an email address, you can't put the person in.
yeah, but I want to remind everybody what you said with constant contact. You do get, if you're a member of the National Notary Association, which you should all be if you're not, but you do get a discount.
You can get a discount.
Get a discount on constant contact. So that makes it, something worth
So
looking into.
yeah,
And you're right, Carol, you need to write down, what am I going to use this CRM for? Am I just using it to keep people's names and phone numbers and email addresses, and I have no intention of sending emails or anything? Which I wouldn't suggest, but if that's what you're going for, then you can just use
you
your
can do
phone.
you can do a spreadsheet of your phone.
Yeah, but
Right.
you want to use it to send out broadcast emails or create any kind of email funnels, email campaigns, any of that. You've got to write down what you need, what you're willing to navigate through and learn, right? Are you looking for something real easy? Or are you looking for, do you have time to invest in something a little more complicated? And then what your budget is, because for every budget and every need, there is some CRM out there. There's thousands of them out there.
Yeah.
And what works for you may not work for me and vice versa. It's all
Right.
because we all have
And
different.
before you even look at getting one, because they can run the gamut in expense. And I never found any of the free ones to be able to use
Yeah.
because they don't have enough. So that's why I chose what I do. But again, that's me looking at my individual thing.
And as you scale your business up, as you do scale up, what you could get away with in the very beginning, you may not be able to do in a year or 2 years based
Good point.
on the frameworks and things that you've created inside your business. So you want to make sure that you're finding what meets your level of technology experience and your needs overall, and your budget, which is usually where we start, I think, right, Laura? Like I always think about like, what's my budget for this?
Exactly.
Because I'm usually generally surprised. Some of these, I'm not kidding you guys, some of these CRMs are hundreds of dollars a month, hundreds, just for small businesses like ours. It can get really shocking. So thanks for bringing that up, Carol. That was a great point to make. I love this name, Nicola Nichols in Florida. Hi, Nicola. What's your question for
Hi,
us
it's
today?
actually Nicola, like Ebola
Nicola, I'm
or
so sorry.
Coca-Cola.
I will
So,
remember that now. Thank you for saying that.
of
Nicola
course, depends
Coca-Cola.
on if you like me or not. You can rhyme it accordingly. Um, Hello, everyone. I have a question about notary logbooks. In Florida, we don't have to technically keep one. However, I do. And when I go to signings, I'm required to take a screenshot of the IDs, driver's license. How long, I know that the loan documents I'm supposed to delete as soon as I scan them, or how long am I supposed to technically leave them just in case? And also the IDs. How long am I supposed to keep those, or am I allowed to?
Laura?
Well, first of all, I don't take people's IDs on my phone. If I'm required to get it, I ask them to do it on their own phone. They
Okay.
can send it in if I can go that direction. That's my preference, is to not be part of that loop. I don't want to be accepting their personal information like that. But if you did, then I would tell you that I would, as soon as you offloaded it to whoever it's got to go to, I'd be deleting that immediately.
Okay.
As soon as possible. But I just don't agree with a notary being responsible to have to hold the identification in our phone. I have had people, when I know it's coming, I let them know, I will need a photocopy of your driver's license or your passport, whatever you're going to use. Do you have a printer? Can you run over to wherever and have that ready for me? So I make the ask, and I don't do very many loan signings anymore, but when I was doing them heavy, I just asked every time that, because 9 times out of 10, they were asking for it. And then I
Right.
could just throw it in, and that kept me out of that. Now when it's just once in a while, I look to see. And again, I will ask if I know up front. If I'm surprised by it, I'll say, hey, can you print it off right now? Do you have a printer? Can you, a lot of people have copiers and printers.
Yes, I understand. I know that a lot of states require thumbprints for the books, which I
No,
tend to do.
actually, I think
Okay.
California is the only one that it's a requirement
Okay.
to
Because I
collect the
feel that,
documents. And there's some states that it is not allowed,
okay.
like Montana.
Mhm.
And I think Texas, and Texas not allowed to get, or
We
is
can't do
Texas, yeah, you can't get the numbers or the.
we can't do fingerprints for signature, and we can't keep
You can't
anything.
record the ID numbers, I think.
We can't record the ID number. We can record the issue and expiration date of a driver's license, and that's it. So you need to check with what your state allows, because I don't know off the top of my head.
Florida does not, but I've heard from other notaries that it is a good idea to ask them for their fingerprint, and I thought that that's very intrusive, and most people wouldn't want to do that. And I
Yeah,
wouldn't feel comfortable asking that.
yeah. If it's not allowed, it's not allowed, period. And
It
same,
is allowed in Florida. It's not a
A
requirement.
it's not a
requirement.
requirement. Okay. And then,
Not a
but
requirement, but it's allowed, and it's up to the notary to decide. You might say, hey, I only ask for them on real estate documents and powers of attorney, which are the most risky, or a
Right.
trust document. I would say limiting, don't ask everybody for every time, but you might want to consider just those kinds of documents. And if that's not even comfortable, then don't ask for it. It's not a requirement in your state.
So how would you suggest you're supposed to be as descriptive as possible in note-taking for your notarial logbook in case something happens. If I don't have their ID or if I don't put down their driver's license number and I don't have their thumb.
In Florida, you are allowed to write that, are you not?
Yes, I'm just saying if that is not, if it's frowned upon or not.
Oh, what you're saying is because it's not required to
Yes.
report anything.
Hmm.
You're gonna have to decide for yourself what your comfort level is with your clients and how they respond to that. You could indicate, like they do in Texas, the type of ID and the expiration date of that ID and not put the numbers in. That could be a way. to go about it, because you are gonna have to see it in order to notarize.
Okay. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Mhm.
Got it.
Just wanted to add one thing to this conversation if I could, and that
Yeah,
is
sure, Matt.
for notaries on the, sure, yeah. And that is for notaries on the call. If your signer ever presents a military ID,
All right.
that is federally prohibited from taking a picture of it or making a reproduction of it ever.
At all.
So just keep that in mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's an excellent point. And personally, I don't want anybody's driver's license information in my phone. What if it gets lost? What if something happens and I'm responsible for that? No, thank you. So it's off my phone, absolutely. But thank you for bringing that up, Nicola. Look, I said it right. And
Jen, can I ask a question? Because Matt brought that up. If you're doing the mail, I use Jurat. I use the electronic journal
Yeah.
rather than doing the paper journal. So it allows you to scan the ID. When it scans the ID, it does keep the info. So Matt, it doesn't keep a photo. So if I scanned a military ID and it was able to read it, it's gonna have that information in there.
But
Is that
careful.
And that's
okay?
fine.
And that,
And
You're
that's
still
fine. It's just-
required to capture the pertinent information, but you can't have a photo reproduction of
Okay,
the
so it's just the
military.
photo piece.
yeah.
right, and Jurat is not scanning. It's scraping information off,
Yes,
and
it's
technically
scraping
it's
it.
that's a different process.
That's a good point. It is scraping it. It's scraping the data
It's
out to put it
scraping
in.
data off so that you just see data, so you don't have to handwrite it yourself.
Right. Okay. Thank
Why I love it. That's why I love it. Jen, if you're able to, can you throw an e-Jurat link up for anybody that's interested in that electronic journal? Because Laura and I use it. It's
Matt's
amazing.
using it.
Matt's using it. Carol, yeah, lots of people are using it. You use it. I know Jen loves it too. So, okay, great conversation. Let's go to Rob in Trophy Club, Texas. Hi, Rob.
Hey Jen, how's it going?
Good.
All right, so sorry, I kind of missed the beginning of or I missed the whole section on the CRMs, and the universe seems to be telling me I need to be getting a CRM
Yes.
because I'm going through your training and you
Huh?
mentioned it.
Yep.
And so I was saving this for coffee talk tomorrow, but since it came up, I thought I'd ask. Did high level come up at all in the previous conversation? I got an appointment call when that was going on, so I had everyone on mute.
Hello, high. Are you talking about hello, high level?
Go high level, yeah.
Go high level. Sorry, go high
Yeah,
level. Yeah. No, we did not bring that up. That's a pretty expensive.
yeah, that's why I'm asking, because like a local guy is giving me a good deal on it
Yeah.
at 50 a month, and so I wasn't sure if anyone had any experience using it though, because
So the thing that Go High Level allows you to do is to white label products and resell it, right? So I know let me just give you an example you guys can all relate to. And that is Loan Signing System, LSS, came out with their CRM, what was that, 6 months ago or something? And it's just a relabeled Go High Level is what it is. And that's what it's for. That's what Go High Level allows you to do. It's for that. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. But it allows you to like repackage it and resell it. So if you're finding something that's like $50 a month and it has that kind of functionality, Rob, but it allows you to do the things that you need to do every month, then yeah, definitely look into it. Just don't get yourself into a situation where you've signed a contract for like 2 or 3 years. Don't do that. Whatever you get into, make sure you can get out of just as quickly, because and these things, and that will happen as you go through your business and you're continually scaling up and up. Your needs are going to be greater, and eventually, someday you're going to look back and you're going to think, gosh, can you believe 5 years ago I used this versus what I'm using now? I don't even know how I functioned with that, right? So you're going to build on it over time, but $50 a month is not unreasonable, in my opinion, unreasonable or unheard of for a really good CRM like Go High Level.
okay, and that's what my research has been telling me, is that it actually seems to be a pretty great
It's a really
CRM.
it's a really good system. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
really, really good system. Yeah. And it does a lot. But the front facing part of it is pretty user friendly. You can get into some more complicated things with it, but for your needs, it'd be a great system for you.
Cool. Okay. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Got it. You got it. Melissa in California, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Hi, everyone. I have
Hi.
a question or comment on the military ID. I noticed that some of them don't have all the 4 Ps or what have you, so we cannot use those ones, correct?
For California, you must have the PPSS, that's what you're referring to, a photograph,
Yeah.
physical description, signature, serial number. And if it does not have all 4, there's not an exception made, then you would
Cool.
not be able to use it. So there's, like the common access card doesn't work
Yeah.
because it's in the chip.
Okay. And then for credible witnesses, okay, I know you put the true credible witnesses information from their ID and everything and have them sign your book. And then do you also have the principal signer? I put their information in there too and have them sign. So I'm having 3 people sign and I'm getting their fingerprints. Is that overkill?
Yeah, some of that is. So you're right, you will get 3 different signatures for your journal. Your principal signer, regardless of how you identify them, will always be signing your journal. So you're always gonna have at least 1 signature. Then you would have the signatures of your 2 credible witnesses. That's when you can have up to 3. There is no need to fingerprint these other 2 people. They're just human IDs.
Okay.
And of
So
course,
would
you
you use
wouldn't have
different
any
lines?
ID information for your signer, otherwise you wouldn't need credible witnesses. So the only information, ID information you're gonna have are credible witness information. That's why they're
Some,
being,
sometimes they have an expired ID and I put that in there. Is that okay?
well, there's no law saying you need to do it or you need to not do
Oh,
it. You're using credible witnesses because the ID presented is
mhm,
not meeting
valid.
the requirement.
Mhm.
So it's up to you if you're wanting to take the time to write that information as well. I'm not gonna tell you not to.
Okay. And is it okay to have them just sign where, like in the extra spaces, or can you use individual lines for the
You can use,
credible?
well, I don't put all that other extra information, so I'm able to fit it in the ID box and the, if you're using paper, the note column right next to it, because they're not signers, they're human ID, so I tend to avoid the signers column. But I know some notaries can't do that, and so they're gonna take the next one and the next one down, and then you just need to strike the columns not being used to indicate these people are witnesses for the above transaction.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Mhm.
Thanks, Melissa. All right, you guys, if you have any questions, just use that reaction or raise hand function at the bottom of your screen and raise your hand and we will get those questions answered for you. But we kind of have a topic today that I wanted to discuss between all of us on the call, all 69 of us here on this call. And that is a question that Laura and I posed on our social media on the advertisement for today's call. And so I wanted to start with you, Laura, and ask you this question. How do you balance building your business with maintaining your personal boundaries or self-care? How do you keep your building your business from running everything, including you?
Well, I'm gonna say 2 things because I struggle with it like everybody else. I
Yeah.
am not the go-to person for that, because I try to take on too much. But I will tell you that a couple of simple practices I have. One is my cell phone. My cell phone doesn't go in my bedroom. My cell phone gets charged overnight in my kitchen. And once I put it on that charger, there's no responding to it until probably 7 a.m. the next morning, when I'm back out into that common area. So that's one thing. If somebody's calling me during those hours, they're gonna have to wait till the next time I'm open for business. And that has been a practice of mine forever. I don't know how, I've had a couple times when I put it in my room because my mom was ill. I wasn't sure I couldn't hear it and I couldn't sleep having that thing like beep and do things to it.
You forgot to turn your phone off one night when we were rooming
Oh
together.
yeah, you heard it, huh?
No, well, I remember this was a couple years ago, and I was like, turn that off, Laura. I can't get any sleep. Turn your phone off. Because her phone, oh my gosh, you guys, I've
It's
never
just
heard a phone
nonstop.
ring this much.
So
Yeah.
that's one. And you know, when I'm at a hotel, I tend to not be on personal time.
Yeah.
So I tend to let it be on. But at home, no. So that's one way I keep business out, you know, once I'm like dinner time and after that. The other thing is that I usually work till 8 o'clock at night, except Fridays. Fridays, my cutoff time is 5 p.m. because it's Feel Good Friday, and that means it's time with my grandkids, and I do not want to be late for that dinner. So that's the second thing that I do. And then when I go, I turn off the phone when I go to their house so that there's nothing to disrupt me there. I think the only other thing that, what's the other thing that I do? Oh, the other thing is that I keep my business from being a money eating machine. So I don't let my business squeeze me. I squeeze my business. So what that means is that I get paid first and I get paid second. And then the government gets paid third. Right? And then whatever's
And then everybody
left.
else. Yeah.
Yeah, whatever's left, that's what gets paid for the expenses and running the business. And if I'm a little short, then that's what I squeeze instead of squeezing me. And that makes me feel good about my business because I get the joy out of my business. I don't feel like I'm working for a taskmaster, which is me. Instead, I know when I see my checks come in and my bonuses come in and I'm transferring money to my account, it's like, yeah, I earned that instead of getting to the end of the either the pay period, whatever yours is, and saying, are you kidding me? I worked like a dog all this month and I only made, you know, $100 or, you know, $50, whatever it is. I would not feel good about that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It would really drain me. So I get paid first.
Yeah. That's a great one. I love your tips on the phone and paying yourself first. That does make a difference. But Matt, are you available to tell us what you do? How you hold those boundaries for self-care instead of letting your business get out of control?
He might have, I don't see
We
him. He
with
might
Matt? Oh,
have
he must have
gotten
not.
to his appointment because he was driving.
Jen, what do you do?
Well, you know what? Learning how to do that took some time, right? Because when we start a business, our business is all about making as much money as possible. And when I started during the raining down of refis in that market. So I was never home my first year as a notary. And it taught me a lot about how important it is to prioritize myself, my family, even before my business, even though we need the business, even though we need the income. So I don't take jobs before 9 a.m. anymore. My mornings are precious to me. The only time I will cross that boundary is if it's a repeat client. And you guys need to understand that at this point in my career, good 80% of my business is repeat or by word of mouth or my clients. So I sometimes have to adjust that, but I'm training them to understand that this is my protected time. I can come see you. I'll come later at night even, but I'm not going to do my mornings. And then I've also learned that taking a day off midweek, when I need to take a day off midweek, guess what, guys? I'm the boss. And I am the best boss I have ever had. And I'm the worst boss I've ever had.
Right.
But when my boss says, no, there's no work today, we're taking a holiday, that is exactly what my voicemail says when people call. When you know you need it, you take it.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And I'm not good at putting my phone away, but I put it on silent. So, and I sleep like a log. You can't wake me up. That's why I don't take overnight. That's why when I see notaries say 24/7 notary, I'm like, really? You're waking up at 3 a.m.? Come on.
Heck no. Yeah.
Maybe they don't have kids.
You guys know what I do. I put my phone on do not disturb.
Yeah, I ignore that most of the time.
24/7.
Yeah. I just hit alert, alert, alert. Yeah.
I know. Notify anyway.
Yeah.
My phone, Celicia said this in the chat, but my phone does go to sleep from 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. So I will never return a business text between those hours, just FYI. I do try and put the phone down, but The thing that I've been really leaning into of late, the past really this year so far, is that nothing works, nothing functions, nothing is right if I am not prioritizing my health. And that means rest. I'm one of those people that has to sleep at least 9 hours a night. I'm a sleeper, right? So I'm resting every night and good sleep. Doing some kind of movement at least 5 days a week. I try and exercise, including lifting weights and stuff for 4 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday is my workout schedule. And I've been, except for this last couple weeks when I've had this freaking ear infection, I've been so good about prioritizing that. And it has made everything a little easier for me because as an ADD person, I think clearer when I've had that time. I've had sunshine, I've had exercise, I've had some time to myself in the morning, and it just makes the mountains we have to climb every day a little easier to climb when I start my day that way. So it's not even about coffee. I have found I've skipped coffee some mornings just because I'm out moving my body. So that to me, like prioritizing my health in that way, instead of treating it like an afterthought and something I have to squeeze in, has really made a huge positive difference for me. But I want to hear from you guys. What are you doing? Who wants to share with us what they are doing? Laura, do you have something you want to add?
I am gonna, yes, I want to piggyback to your health one, but I'm telling other people, put your hand up so we know you want to share too.
Yeah, put your
I'm
hand up
gonna
if you want to share.
just piggyback from general health to mental health. And
Mm,
the mental health for me was that I stopped taking jobs that aren't appropriate for my business and for my security and for my mental health.
Yep.
And so whether that's a price issue, it's a location issue, it's the type of work itself is the issue, I don't take those kinds of jobs because that's what helps me feel the best about what I do.
yeah,
Also,
and
can I also piggyback on that? We're going to piggyback today. One of the benefits of having a network of notaries is it can allow you to maintain relationships with clients by being of service to them by saying, you know what, I can't do that today, but please call this person because she'll be able to help you.
Yeah.
Having that network allows you to make pockets, allows you to turn away the work that you might not want, but somebody else might be desperate for.
Yeah.
So
There you go.
yeah,
it's all part of the big picture of being a healthy, mentally, physically, business-wise business.
yeah. No, I think you're absolutely right. Diana, I'd love to hear how you are prioritizing your self-care as you continue to scale your business up. You're on mute. There you
Okay,
go.
I got it, I think.
Yeah.
Well, the last 5 years have been a real challenge.
Yeah.
The one best thing I can say, be my own boss. I can say yes and I can say no. Or like when I was going through radiation or a little bit of chemo or infusion, it was like, well, I have this and I have to rest at least 30 minutes to an hour afterwards. I was surprised at how well my clients worked with me, but I think part of it was like the people that I work with. It's like Jen and Jen say, and Laura says, I've got I've got a I've got a standby set of clients that I've worked with for years. But if I'm not feeling good, because I still have days when I nap, and it's like you said, you've got to have health, you've got to be rested, because if you're not rested, you're not going to focus,
Mhm.
and you need to be organized. And I think if you set your clients and say, okay, this is what my needs are, because they can't read your mind, that really helps. So like one of my biggest and best clients I'm going to see at conference, I mean, I've known them for like 25 years. I mean, they know, like they know I won't go out the door if I can't drive home before sunset, because I'm starting to have some vision problems from the treatment problems.
Yeah.
But they know that if they needed somebody to go out an hour to an hour and a half drive, they know that they've got to book me, mid-morning, like around 9:30, 10 o'clock in the morning, because sometimes it's an all-day thing. And so if you don't set those boundaries, it's just like any relationship. You got to have healthy boundaries and a healthy mindset, and you have to be positive about it. You're just saying, I'm not trying to be a problem. What will work for your customer? So I let them work it out. And if they're flexible, it goes. And if it doesn't, I have a network of, well, this person can go after dark, and this one will go really early in the morning. And that's another relationship. So it's everything we've ever talked about.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. Thank you, Diana, for sharing that. And you're absolutely, you and Jen are right on your network stepping in to help you. It's why it's so important to network with other notaries in your area instead of viewing them as your competition, right? But Laura has a question for us. Laura, tell me what state you're in again.
I'm in California.
California. Okay. 2 Lauras in California. Go for it, Laura.
I just wanted to chime in and add to what everyone is saying.
Yes.
I totally agree. And when I was building my business, I was putting in really long hours, and I wanted to do that so I could get it off the ground and I could actually build the momentum I needed to build, to establish myself. And then I found myself, like, I kept going like that. And that's how I worked at all my 9-to-5 jobs too. Just work. And then I was like, you know what? You got out of your 9-to-5 job so that you could take better care of your life work balance. It's like one of the biggest reasons I did that. And so I had to talk with myself, and now I came up with a plan. And the plan is, the first few hours of the day, I make sure that all my self-care stuff is taken care of. And that's grocery shopping, meal prepping, meal planning, mapping out my gym, workout, like time for the week, checking in with my parents, meditation, everything that keeps up my wellness. And then I get to, how can I get more work? How can I get more business? And reaching out and stuff like that. Because if the first part is not taken care of, I'm at half staff, and I'm going to burn out anyway.
Yeah.
So
I think it's so interesting hearing other people's processes, because I'm kind of the opposite. Like I do my health routine in the morning, but I do my like around the house stuff late in the afternoon, because I have to take advantage of those morning hours when my brain is at peak optimization, right? God, so because like usually after 3, I'm checked out. I'm like, I've used up too much power that day.
I understand that.
And I don't need brain power to fold laundry or do dishes, right? So, but it's so interesting to hear, other, because we're all so different, but we all have that. We're all in business. We're all running our own business. We're all small business owners, and it's hard. It's hard to be a small business owner. This is not for the weak. This is not for somebody that's just like in it for fly by night kind of thing. Like, it's hard freaking work, man. So sharing these kinds of ideas and talking beyond the stamp really is one of the things I love about this call, because it gives us all, different perspective and different ideas on the things that we could do so that we don't become beholden to, working 24/7, because not one of us got into this to work 24/7, right?
Exactly.
Thank you for sharing that, Laura. I like I said, I love hearing other people's perspective.
Thank you too, Jen.
Coop, you have something real quick you want to wrap us up with? Because we are at the end of our time already.
Put it in the chat, guys. But also part of taking care of yourself as a business owner is knowing when to be a full-time business owner. If it doesn't make sense to leave your full-time job right now, forcing it is not the right choice.
No, you're right.
Making it work when it works is when you should do that. That's really a big part of the mindset of being a business owner, is when it makes sense is when you do it. Yeah. There are leaps, and then there are falling off the cliffs. Let's leap, not fall.
Absolutely. I agree with you. Alicia Young-Jones, to answer your question in the chat, you can find all of the TNT replays on Coach Me Laura's YouTube channel, Coach Me Laura. Or no, it's at Laura Bewer, right? Is your YouTube channel, Laura?
No, my YouTube channel is, I don't know what any of my links
I think
are.
it's Laura Bewer. Mine's Marketing for Notaries. You can find, just go to YouTube and search Marketing for Notaries, and the replays are also there. They're now in 2 spots. So that's where you can find them. Bill is not hosting them on his channel anymore. Okay, guys, we have come to another end of an amazing TNT. This call goes by in the blink of an eye, Laura. It's crazy.
I know.
I know.
Good call,
So,
guys.
so if I throw you under the bus and have you close us out today, are you ready?
Wait, let me squirt my mouth.
Gonna sing for us. You guys might not know this, but Laura is, I'm giving away your secrets. She's a fabulous singer. She is an amazing, amazing vocalist. That's why she's got her vocal spray at the ready. But go ahead and close this out after another great TNT, Laura. And before you do, let me just say, if you get a survey pop up after this call, there's a little glitch in the system right now. If you get a survey, please take the minute or 2 it takes to fill it out. It's only 5 questions. That's it. We want to hear from you about what you want to see on this call. You may or may not get one. Just hang out and see if you do. If you do, we would appreciate you filling that out for us. Oh, and you have a challenge to sing us out today, Laura.
I know, but I don't, let me think.
What's a goodbye song? Like closing time, maybe?
I know, well, I was thinking what I sing to my dogs when I
Oh,
I leave the house.
what do you think of?
I do sing to my dogs, my little chihuahuas. I sing to them. You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy when skies are gray. You'll never know, dear, how much I love you. Please don't take my sunshine away.
I love it.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's not my best voice, but that's what they get. They love it. They love
And
it.
I love it. Things you will never see me do on TNT is sing. Nobody wants to hear that. I admire your bravery, Laura. You guys have a fabulous week. Thanks. We'll see you back here in 2 weeks. Remember, we're off next week for the NNA conference. 2 weeks.
Thanks, Laura. That was awesome.
You did a great job, Laura.
Bye, everyone.
You're so brave. I would have been like, I'm not doing that. Bye, you guys.
You all of my son. That's what I said.